When everything breaks, you must not. When the world loses control, you must hold the line. This is not about pretending to be calm. It's about mastering yourself so deeply that nothing can shake your peace. Because storms will come, people will test you, life will hit you harder than you expect. But the truth is simple: the calmest mind wins. This audiobook will teach you how to control your emotions, rebuild mental strength, and rise above chaos without losing yourself. Let's begin.
Chapter 1. Stop explaining yourself. You talk too much. You justify too much. You defend yourself too much. And every time you do, you weaken your power. The truth is, people who know their worth don't explain it. They don't beg to be understood. They don't chase approval. Because silence proves what words cannot. You've been taught that you have to explain to be respected. You've been conditioned to think that if people don't get you, you must convince them. But that's not power. That's insecurity dressed up as reason. Real power doesn't explain. Real power moves. You don't need to justify your decisions to people who wouldn't understand your vision anyway. You don't need to argue your value with people who've already decided not to see it. You owe them no explanation. You owe yourself progress. Every minute you spend defending who you are is a minute you're not becoming who you could be. That's the key. You're wasting your focus trying to be seen instead of building something that cannot be ignored. Stop proving. Start being. Let silence speak for you. When you truly believe in yourself, you stop arguing. You stop debating. You stop reacting to every opinion. You simply live in a way that makes your presence undeniable. The loudest person in the room rarely has power. They have noise, and noise fades fast. But the one who stands still, unshaken, calm, they control the room without effort. Because confidence doesn't shout. It doesn't explain. It doesn't chase understanding. Confidence simply exists. Think about the people you admire, the ones who command respect without saying much. They're not trying to be liked. They're not trying to be approved of. They are simply certain. Certainty doesn't need applause. Certainty doesn't need to explain. Certainty is quiet, focused, and grounded. That's emotional silence in action. That's the foundation of unshakable strength. You have a choice. Every day you'll be tested. Someone will misunderstand you. Someone will question your decision. Someone will try to pull you into argument, gossip, or judgment. And in that moment, you have two options: defend your worth or demonstrate it. Defending your worth means stepping into their arena, lowering your vibration to match their noise. Demonstrating your worth means staying still, doing your work, and letting time prove you right. The strong let time do the talking. The weak let emotion do it. Which one do you want to be? It's not about arrogance. It's about direction. You're not too good to explain yourself. You're too focused to waste the energy. You understand that energy is a currency. Every defense, every argument, every debate costs you power. You can't afford to spend power trying to fix how others see you, because you're not here to be seen. You're here to build. Stop explaining yourself and start executing. Let your actions announce your value. That's what winners do. You don't need their permission. You don't need their understanding. You don't need their validation. If they don't get it, good. Let them stay confused. Because the more you grow, the less people will understand you. And that's how it's supposed to be. When you start moving with quiet discipline, you'll outgrow small talk. You'll outgrow the need to explain your every move. You'll outgrow the approval of people who haven't built anything themselves. That's the moment you evolve from being reactive to being deliberate. In silence, you find focus. In silence, you find clarity. In silence, you find control. Every time you resist the urge to explain, you build inner strength. Every time you choose silence over argument, you train emotional discipline. The key is this: don't let their misunderstanding distract you from your mission. You don't owe an answer for your peace. You don't owe an explanation for your ambition. You don't owe a reason for your rest. You owe yourself commitment to your path. When you stop explaining, something magical happens. You start moving faster. You start thinking clearer. You start feeling lighter. Because your energy is no longer scattered across arguments that don't matter. You're no longer trying to be understood by people who were never listening. You become focused, grounded, strategic. And when you move like that, your results become your loudest argument. Your silence becomes your power. So the next time someone demands an explanation, pause. Ask yourself, do they really want to understand? Or do they just want to control the narrative? If it's control, stay silent. If it's peace, walk away. If it's alignment, they'll see your actions, not your defense. You have a choice. You always have a choice. Let your silence prove your growth. Let your discipline prove your direction. Because the moment you stop explaining, you start leading. It's not about pride. It's about peace. It's not about proving. It's about building. It's not about being understood. It's about being focused. The less you explain, the more you expand. The less you react, the more you rise. That's the paradox of emotional silence. The quieter you get, the louder your impact becomes. You have nothing to prove. You have everything to protect: your focus, your purpose, your time. And once you protect those, you become unstoppable. You don't need to shout your value. You live it. You breathe it. You demonstrate it every single day through quiet consistency. Stop proving. Start being. Let silence speak for you. You've learned to stop explaining. You've learned that silence isn't weakness. It's control. And when you master that control, your presence speaks volumes before you say a word. You've stopped wasting energy convincing others. Now it's time to use that energy to build yourself. You mastered your noise. Now let's go deeper. Let's talk about the next step in emotional strength: the power to control your reaction.
Chapter 2. The pause between emotion and action. The most powerful moment in your life is the second before you speak, before you react, before you move. That single pause, that one breath, decides everything. Ruin or respect, loss or leadership, chaos or control. Most people live their entire lives skipping that pause. They move too fast. They speak too soon. They act without thinking. And then they spend months, sometimes years, cleaning up the mess created in a single impulsive moment. That's the tragedy of reaction. It feels right now, but it costs you later. That's the key. You think you're being real by reacting quickly. You think you're standing up for yourself. But what you're really doing is letting your emotions hijack your decision-making. And every time you do that, you lose a piece of your power. Because power isn't in reaction. Power is in restraint. When you pause, you interrupt your programming. You stop the emotional autopilot that's been controlling your life. You create a small gap. And inside that gap, you build choice. You have a choice. That's the moment that separates the strong from the weak, the disciplined from the desperate, the wise from the reactive. You don't need more motivation. You need more pauses. Because that pause, that breath, is your greatest weapon. Breathe, think, then move. Repeat it until it becomes instinct. Let's break it down. Breathe. That's not just oxygen. That's awareness. Your breath grounds you in the present. When you're angry, your breath shortens. When you're calm, your breath deepens. So use it as a signal. When emotions spike, slow your breathing. Count to 4 on the inhale, 4 on the exhale. It sounds simple, but that single habit rewires your nervous system. Think. Ask yourself, what outcome do I actually want? Not what do I feel right now? That's the wrong question. You're not trying to express emotion. You're trying to create results. Thinking before you move turns emotion into information. It turns impulse into intention. And then move. Not react, not explode, not panic. Move deliberately. Move purposefully. Because movement without thought is chaos. Movement after clarity is power. Breathe, think, then move. That's your new code. You can't stop emotions from coming, but you can stop them from controlling your next step. You can't stop people from testing you, but you can decide how you respond to the test. You can't control the world, but you can control the pause between the world and your reaction to it. That pause is where all strength lives. Here's the truth. Every mistake you've ever made, every argument you wish you could erase, every regret started because you skipped the pause. You said something too quickly. You acted without thinking. You reacted to hurt with more hurt, and you paid the price. So what's the lesson? Never skip the pause. When you feel that fire rising in your chest, pause. When someone tries to drag you into their drama, pause. When your ego wants to defend itself, pause. You'll feel your body begging to react. You'll feel your pride screaming to do something. Don't. Just breathe. Because that pause is not weakness. It's strength under control. And that's what real maturity looks like. The pause gives you time to observe. It gives you perspective. It allows emotion to cool just enough for wisdom to enter. Think about how many wars, how many fights, how many relationships could have been saved if people just paused for 2 seconds before speaking. That's all it takes. 2 seconds of control to prevent years of damage. You don't need to win every argument. You don't need to prove every point. You need to protect your peace. That's the mission, because when you're reactive, you lose emotional energy to everything that doesn't deserve it. But when you pause, you conserve power, and you choose where to spend it. That's emotional economy. That's inner wealth. Here's what happens inside that pause. Your brain switches from the emotional center, the limbic system, to the rational center, the prefrontal cortex. That's biology. When you pause, you give your logic time to turn on. That's how you win in life, not through emotion, but through precision. So train it. Make it automatic. Every time you want to lash out, stop yourself mid-motion. Every time you want to reply instantly, count to 3 first. Every time someone provokes you, smile instead of speaking. That's how you build emotional armor. Because calm is not born, it's built. And every pause is a brick in that wall. You don't need their permission to pause. You don't owe anyone your instant reaction. Just because they press you doesn't mean you have to respond right away. In fact, the faster you're expected to react, the more power you gain by delaying. Slow is smooth. Smooth is strong. And strong always wins. Remember this. You are not what you feel. You are what you do with what you feel. Emotions come and go, but discipline stays. And it's not about suppressing emotion, it's about mastering your response to it. It's not about pretending to be calm. It's about training calmness as a skill. The pause is the training ground. Every challenge that tests your patience is a practice session. Every person that irritates you is your coach. Every moment that demands control is your classroom. If you can pause, you can lead. If you can pause, you can think. If you can pause, you can win. Here's your assignment for this week. Practice the pause 5 times a day. Notice every moment you feel pulled to react, and stop. Label the emotion, breathe through it. Respond only when your calm has returned. You'll be shocked how quickly your life changes when you start buying time between emotion and action. That pause becomes your advantage. It's your superpower. While others rush to react, you'll wait to respond. While others speak without thought, you'll speak with precision. While others drown in emotion, you'll stand still, clear, grounded, untouchable. That's what discipline looks like in real life.
Chapter 3. Train your triggers. You think your triggers control you. They don't. You trained them, and you can retrain them. Every reaction you have, every emotional explosion, every time you lose control, it's not random. It's conditioned. You've built these responses through repetition, over years of reacting the same way to the same kind of pain, the same kind of rejection, the same kind of disrespect. That's right. You built it. And that means you can rebuild it. Let's get one thing straight. You are not a victim of your emotions. You are the architect of your responses. You can't control what life throws at you, but you can control the pattern that follows. Anger doesn't just happen.
Anxiety doesn't just appear. Sadness doesn't just crash into your day. They're triggered by cues you've allowed to stay alive in your mind. So when you say, I can't help it, what you really mean is, I haven't trained it. That's the key. Think of your triggers like a dog. If you don't train it, it runs wild. It bites at everyone and everything. It reacts to every sound, every movement. But if you train it, if you take control, that same energy becomes obedience, discipline, control. Your triggers can either destroy your focus or sharpen it. You decide which. Here's the truth. Every time you react emotionally, you reinforce that trigger. Every outburst strengthens the chain. Every time you give in, you teach your brain, this is how we handle pain. You don't need therapy to start fixing it. You need awareness. You need repetition. You need training.
Chapter 4. Emotion is energy. Direct it, don't deny it. You've been taught to suppress emotion, to hide it, to lock it up, to pretend it doesn't exist. That's a lie. Suppression destroys you. Direction strengthens you. Emotion isn't your enemy. Emotion is energy. And energy, when directed, becomes power. Here's the truth. You don't get rid of emotions. You repurpose them. You channel them. You convert them. You use them. Anger, sadness, fear, guilt, shame. They all carry fuel, and that fuel can either burn your life down or cook your future. That's the key. You see, the weak try to deny emotion. They run from it. They numb it. They drown it with distractions, scrolling, drinking, complaining, blaming. The strong don't deny. They direct. They take that same energy and say, this will not destroy me. It will drive me. Because emotion isn't bad. Uncontrolled emotion is bad. Fire isn't dangerous when it's in the stove. It's dangerous when it's spreading through the house. So the lesson is simple. Stop putting out your fire. Start learning how to contain it. Let's talk about anger. Most people see anger as poison. It's not. It's potential. Anger is raw energy, pure intensity. The problem isn't anger itself. It's misdirected anger. You get angry at people, traffic, opinions, and setbacks, and you waste it. You throw it at things you can't control, and that's why it destroys you instead of strengthening you. Direct your anger. Aim it. Use it to sharpen your focus, not scatter it. When you're angry, don't lash out. Lock in. Channel that fire into your goals, into your training, into your craft. Every time anger rises, ask yourself, how can I use this energy to build something instead of breaking something? That question turns rage into drive. That's emotional discipline. Now sadness. It feels heavy, slow, hopeless. But sadness isn't weakness, it's reflection. It's your mind forcing you to slow down and look deeper. When you stop running from sadness, you start learning from it. You see what truly matters. You see what's missing. You see what needs change. Sadness becomes your teacher when you let it speak. Channel sadness into strategy. Write, think, plan. Sadness slows the world down just enough for you to see clearly again. Use it. Don't drown in it. Then there's fear, the emotion everyone tries to erase. You can't erase fear. You can only face it.
And when you face it, it turns into fuel. Fear is information. It shows you where the growth is hiding. It tells you where you're not prepared, and that's where you need to prepare. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is the direction of fear. Every strong person you admire still feels fear. They just don't let it lead. They use it as a signal, not a stop sign. When fear says don't, discipline says do it anyway. That's power. The emotional weak say, I shouldn't feel this way. The emotional strong say, I'll use this feeling to build something better. You have a choice, always. Emotion can either control you or you can control emotion. You can either suppress it until it explodes or express it until it transforms. That's the difference between breakdown and breakthrough. Let's go deeper. Imagine a fire. If you scatter wood everywhere and drop a match, you burn the place down. If you build a pit, gather your wood and contain it, you cook your meal. The fire didn't change. Your control did. That's what emotion is. It's fire. It can destroy you, or it can create warmth, focus, and power. The question is, are you building a pit, or are you playing with matches? You've been told to be less emotional. That's nonsense. You don't need to be less emotional. You need to be more intentional. Emotion is what drives art, performance, discipline, connection. Every great achievement on this planet came from emotion, not logic. Pain pushed someone to build. Anger drove someone to fight injustice. Love inspired someone to create. Emotion is the human engine, and when you harness it, nothing can stop you. Here's what you do, a real-world routine for emotional mastery. Step 1. Name the emotion. When you feel it, don't react. Label it. Say to yourself, this is anger, this is fear, this is sadness. By naming it, you separate yourself from it. You go from being in the emotion to being aware of it. That awareness gives you control. Step 2. Breathe before you act. Emotion demands reaction. Discipline demands response. That one breath creates the space for choice. Step 3. Redirect the energy. If it's anger, move your body, lift, run. If it's sadness, write, reflect, plan. Convert the energy instead of caging it. Step 4. Reflect after the storm. Ask, what did that emotion try to teach me? How did I respond? What can I do better next time? That's emotional growth. That's training, not talking. Listen. You can't control when emotion hits, but you can control what it hits. If you don't assign it purpose, it will assign itself destruction. Emotion without direction is chaos. Emotion with direction is power. You don't need to suppress what you feel. You need to discipline what you feel. That's the secret most people never learn. When you deny emotion, you bury it alive. It doesn't die. It festers. And one day it explodes, uncontrollable and destructive. But when you face it, when you name it, when you train it, it becomes your ally. It becomes the strength behind your calm, the fire behind your purpose, the force behind your focus. You don't need to numb your emotions. You need to use them. You don't need to get rid of anger. You need to aim it. You don't need to avoid fear. You need to face it. You don't need to escape sadness. You need to understand it. That's mastery. That's maturity. It's not about emotion. It's about discipline. Not about feeling less, but about feeling with direction. You have to stop waiting for calm to create control. Control creates calm. That's the key. When your emotions serve your mission, you become unstoppable. When your emotions distract from your mission, you become unstable. You choose which version of yourself shows up. So from this moment on, every emotion you feel, don't hide it. Harness it. Direct it toward your purpose. Let it become momentum, not misery. Because energy is neutral until you give it direction. Emotion is just energy, and you decide where it goes. You've learned to direct your emotions instead of denying them. You've turned fire into focus, pain into power, fear into forward motion. That's the foundation of self-control, emotional alchemy. Now that you've mastered emotional energy, it's time to protect it. Because every ounce of your focus, every spark of that fire can be stolen if you let the world distract you. You trained your triggers, you mastered your emotion. Now it's time to guard your attention. Next chapter, the discipline of focus.
Your mind is the battlefield, not the world. Not other people, not your past. Your mind. And if you don't control it, it will control you. Every thought, every reaction, every emotional storm, it starts there, inside your head. You lose the battle the moment you let your mind run on autopilot. You win it the moment you take command. That's the key. Here's the truth. Your mind was never built to make you happy. It was built to keep you safe, to protect, to avoid pain, to resist change. But safety doesn't lead to strength, and comfort doesn't lead to growth. So if you live by what your mind feels, you'll stay stuck. But if you train your mind to obey, you'll rise. That's the shift. That's the transformation. Let me be direct. You can't trust every thought that enters your head. You can't believe every feeling that passes through your heart. Your mind lies. It exaggerates fear. It amplifies doubt. It recycles pain. Your mind tells you you're tired when you're just unmotivated. It tells you to quit when things get hard. It tells you you can't when what it really means is you're scared. So here's your daily battle: to separate your mind from your mission. You have a choice. Let the mind control you, or command it to serve you. The world isn't attacking you. It's just testing your stability. Every insult, every rejection, every no, they're not personal. They're tests. And the truth is, you fail the test every time you take it personally. Because the moment you react, you hand over control. You stop being the driver and you become the driven. Let's get this straight. People's words are reflections of them, not you. Their anger is their burden. Their bitterness is their story. Their judgment is their insecurity wearing armor. You have to stop thinking the world is out to get you. It's not. It's out to test you. Every time someone criticizes you, gossips about you, or tries to humiliate you, you have a choice. You can react or you can rise. When you take things personally, you turn every conversation into a battlefield. You make yourself the center of a story that was never about you. You spend energy defending yourself from ghosts. That's the trap. That's emotional weakness disguised as sensitivity. And sensitivity without discipline becomes self-destruction. Because you start fighting battles that don't exist, and every time you do, your peace bleeds out a little more. So let's talk about discipline. Not the physical kind, not the routine kind. I'm talking about emotional discipline. The discipline of not reacting. The discipline of not absorbing. The discipline of not letting noise enter your mind. It's a skill. It's a muscle. And like any muscle, you build it through repetition. How? By refusing to take the bait. Someone criticizes you? Breathe.
Someone mocks you? Smile. Someone misunderstands you? Let them. That's the practice. That's the discipline. You don't need to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You don't need to fix what doesn't belong to you. Your job is not to manage other people's emotions. Your job is to master your own. Every insult is an opportunity to practice indifference. Every slight is an invitation to remain still. Think about that. Indifference is not weakness. It's control. It's the quiet confidence that says, you can't touch me. When you stop reacting, you become unpredictable. And when you become unpredictable, you become powerful. People lose power over you the moment you stop needing their validation. Let's do a quick exercise. Close your eyes and imagine this. Someone insults you. They say something sharp, something cruel. You feel that first spark of emotion in your chest, that sting. That's your cue. That's your moment of truth. Now, visualize their words as wind. Just wind, passing through the air. You feel it brush against you, but it doesn't move you. You don't chase it. You don't fight it. You just let it pass. That's what real stability looks like. You don't get stronger by building walls. You get stronger by learning not to flinch. Because when your peace can't be stolen, you become untouchable. Here's the hard truth. You can't control what people say. You can't control what people think, but you can always control your response. That's your superpower. So stop reacting to shadows. Stop defending your worth to people who never earned the right to question it. Stop explaining your peace. You don't need their permission to stay calm. You don't need their understanding to be focused. You need one thing: discipline. The discipline to stay grounded when everything around you tries to shape you. When someone disrespects you, it's not a command. It's an offer to argue, an offer to lose focus, an offer to step out of your power. You don't have to accept it. You can decline. And the best way to decline is silence. Silence isn't passive. It's strategic. It's how warriors choose their battles. It's how the disciplined protect their peace. You can't win every argument, and you shouldn't want to, because arguing with fools only proves there are two. So walk away. Let them talk. Let them be loud. You be still. That's the move. Here's what most people don't understand. Not taking things personally doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about the right things. You care about your focus. You care about your energy. You care about your purpose. You stop feeding drama and start feeding discipline. Because the person who doesn't take things personally can't be manipulated. They can't be provoked. They can't be derailed. And in a world built on emotional chaos, that's rare. That's power. You want peace? Then stop reacting to noise. You want freedom? Then stop letting other people's words decide how you feel. You want strength? Then learn to sit still when everything in you wants to react. That's how you win. That's how you master your mind. It's not about being emotionless. It's about being emotionally controlled. It's about choosing peace over reaction. It's about saying, you can't shake me anymore. Remember this. Every insult tests your composure. Every judgment tests your clarity. Every misunderstanding tests your patience. They're all just mirrors showing you where you still need discipline. So don't run from them. Face them. Use them. When someone mocks you, say to yourself, this is a test. When someone doubts you, say, this is training. When someone lies about you, say, this is practice. You are not their puppet. You are not their project. You are the calm in the storm. That's the key. That's the discipline. So next time someone throws negativity your way, don't fight it. Float above it. See it for what it is. Energy you don't need to absorb. Because your mind is a fortress.
and only you decide who enters. You're not here to win arguments. You're here to win peace. You're here to build mastery. The world will keep testing you. Don't fail by reacting. Pass by staying calm. That's the discipline of not taking things personally. Transition. You've learned how to stand still in the storm, how to hold your peace when others lose theirs. Now it's time to move to a deeper level of control, the kind that makes you truly unstoppable. Because silence is more than peace, it's power. Next chapter, the discipline of silence.
Chapter 7. Consistency builds calm. Calm isn't a feeling. It's not luck. It's not peace gifted by the universe. Calm is a system, a discipline, a daily practice built one repetition at a time. You don't feel calm, you train calm. You don't find peace, you build it. And here's the truth. You don't rise to calm when chaos hits. You fall to the level of your training. That's the key. Look at your life honestly. When stress shows up, how do you respond? Do you breathe or break? Do you focus or fold? Because that response isn't random. It's a reflection of your training. Calm is not built in crisis. Calm is built in repetition. It's built in the quiet mornings. It's built in the routines you refuse to skip. It's built in every choice to stay centered when you could collapse. You can't fake calm. You can't wish for calm. You have to build calm. Let's get this straight. Consistency isn't glamorous. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. But it's the reason some people stay composed when everything around them is falling apart. Why? Because consistency trains the nervous system. When you practice discipline daily, your body learns safety. When you repeat structure, your mind learns stability. When you master routine, your emotions stop ruling you. You have a choice. You can live reactively, waiting for peace to come, or you can live proactively, creating peace through repetition. That's discipline. That's power. Let's make it practical. There are 3 anchors that build calm: routine, repetition, recovery. 1. Routine. Your routine is your structure, and structure creates safety. When you wake up at the same time, move your body, breathe intentionally, you teach your mind that you're in control. It's not about perfection. It's about predictability. Your brain doesn't thrive in chaos, it thrives in patterns. Morning routines matter because they anchor the day. You wake up, you breathe, you move, you plan. That's not boring, that's brilliance. Because when the world gets loud, your internal rhythm remains steady. You want calm? Build it before you need it. Number 2, repetition. Repetition builds resilience. Every rep of stillness strengthens your response to stress. Every active self-control rewires your system toward peace. You don't grow calm by thinking about it. You grow calm by doing it over and over. Cold exposure, breath work, silence, these are not trends. They're training. When you sit in cold water, your mind screams, "Get out." But you stay. You breathe. You endure. And your body learns discomfort isn't death. That's the power of repetition. You're teaching your system, I can stay calm even here. Because if you can stay calm under stress you choose, you can stay calm under stress life gives you. That's the difference between emotional reactivity and emotional control. Number 3, recovery. Most people don't realize calm also comes from rest. Not lazy rest, intentional recovery. Sleep, nutrition, solitude, silence. Calm is not just the absence of noise, it's the presence of alignment. You can't expect peace when you run yourself into the ground.
You can't expect focus when your body's exhausted. You can't expect discipline when your system's burning out. Recovery is training too. It's the discipline of stillness. It's the courage to pause before you break. You think you need more grind, but sometimes what you really need is more grounding. Calm is a practice, not a prize. You don't earn it once, you reinforce it daily. And here's the uncomfortable truth. If your life feels unstable, it's not because of the world, it's because your system lacks structure. Chaos outside you only controls you if chaos lives inside you. You don't control the wind, but you can build a stronger sail. That's what consistency does. It gives you a base so solid that no storm can shake it. Let's talk about repetition in the real world. Think about the athlete who trains every day, the soldier who drills every move, the surgeon who practices until precision becomes second nature. They don't train because they love repetition. They train because repetition saves them under pressure. You are no different. Your emotional stability is your battlefield. Your mind is your weapon. And your habits are your armor. If you don't train daily, you'll panic when it matters most. That's why most people fall apart, not because they're weak, but because they never practiced strength under pressure. Every act of consistency tells your mind, I can trust myself. And when you trust yourself, calm becomes automatic. You don't flinch when someone disrespects you. You don't break when plans change. You don't spiral when outcomes shift. Because you've trained your internal anchor to hold steady. That's emotional strength. That's internal leadership. And it's built, not inherited. Here's the problem. Most people chase intensity instead of consistency. They go all in for 3 days, then quit. They meditate once, then call it boring. They try journaling, then forget. Intensity is a spark. Consistency is the fire. And you need fire, not flashes. You need habits that outlast your moods. Because when chaos comes, motivation won't save you. Discipline will. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be predictable. That's the secret nobody tells you. So, how do you start building calm today? Simple. Pick one practice and repeat it every single day. Not 10, 1. That's the power of consistency. Start with your mornings. Start with your breath. Start with 5 minutes of silence before the noise. When you repeat that daily, your brain starts to trust you again. Your emotions stop hijacking your choices. Your calm becomes unshakable because it's earned, not imagined. Remember this. You don't rise to calm when things fall apart. You fall to the level of your training. So train deliberately. Train daily. Train discipline. Calm isn't the absence of storms. It's the strength to stand still inside them. That's the mindset. That's the mission. You're not building calm for comfort. You're building calm for control. Every day you repeat the pattern. Every day you follow the routine. Every day you choose stillness over chaos. You're reinforcing who you're becoming. You're becoming steady. You're becoming sharp. You're becoming unshakable. That's your power. That's your peace. That's your training. Transition. You've learned to repeat calm until it becomes instinct. But the next step isn't about doing, it's about not doing. Because the highest form of control isn't reaction, it's restraint. You mastered consistency. Now, let's go deeper. Let's talk about what most people never practice, but desperately need. Next chapter. The discipline of silence.
Chapter 8. Detach from control. Focus on command. Control. It's the illusion that keeps most people miserable.
You think you can control everything: the traffic, the timing, the people around you, the way others react to you. But here's the truth: you can't. Control is external. Command is internal. You can't control the storm, but you can command your ship. You can't control the noise, but you can command your focus. You can't control the outcome, but you can command your effort. That's the difference between anxiety and authority. People who chase control live in chaos. People who master command move with calm power. Let's be clear. You will never control other people. Not their words, not their moods, not their behavior. You can influence them. You can inspire them. But control, that's an illusion. What you can command is yourself, your breathing, your tone, your response. You have a choice every single time something goes wrong to either grasp for control or anchor yourself in command. When your flight is delayed, do you lose your mind or adjust your plan? When someone disrespects you, do you react or respond? When life throws turbulence your way, do you panic or pilot? That's the difference. Control looks outward. Command looks inward. Think of a pilot mid-flight. He doesn't control the weather. He doesn't control the wind. He doesn't control when turbulence hits. But he commands his instruments. He commands his composure. He commands his craft. He keeps his voice steady, his breathing measured, his mind calm. He's not in control of the storm, but he's in command of himself. That's you. That's who you need to become. Because life is turbulence every day, every hour. People will betray you. Plans will fail. Timing will break. You'll lose control 1,000 times. But if you build command, you never lose yourself. Control is about fear. Command is about discipline. Control says, I need everything to go my way. Command says, no matter what happens, I'll handle it. That's power. That's peace. That's freedom. The moment you stop chasing control, you start finding strength. You stop being reactive. You stop being desperate. You start leading yourself. And that's the real goal, not to control the world, but to command yourself through it. Let's break it down practically. You can't control your boss's attitude, but you can command your professionalism. You can't control the traffic, but you can command your patience. You can't control whether people understand you, but you can command the clarity of your message. You can't control the results, but you can command the process. This is how you win in silence while everyone else is losing their minds. You stop trying to micromanage life. You start mastering your response to it. And this is where discipline comes in. Discipline trains command. Command maintains calm. Calm builds consistency. See the chain? It starts with you. It always has. The reason most people crumble under pressure is simple. They build their peace on control, not command. The moment life didn't listen to them, they lost it. You can't afford that. You're building something stronger, something unshakable. Your peace must come from your preparation. Your calm must come from your command. Here's the mindset shift you need to live by. Stop asking, how do I make this situation go my way? Start asking, how do I stay composed no matter what happens? That's command. When you stop trying to control outcomes, you free up energy to command performance. When you stop fixating on what you can't move, you finally start moving what you can. Control is a cage. Command is clarity. Control burns you out. Command builds you up. You don't need to be in control to be confident. Confidence doesn't come from power over things. It comes from power over yourself. It's the quiet knowing, whatever comes, I can handle it. That's command. And it's trained daily. Every time you breathe instead of react, you build command. Every time you pause before speaking, you build command. Every time you let go of what you can't change, you build command. And over time, something powerful happens. You become untouchable. Because when you're no longer chasing control, nothing owns you. Here's the truth no one tells you. You're not supposed to control everything. You're supposed to lead yourself through anything. That's mastery. That's mental toughness. The people you admire, the soldiers, the athletes, the leaders, they don't control outcomes. They command presence. They command their breathing. They command their execution. That's why they stay calm when others fall apart. They know, I don't rise to the occasion. I fall to the level of my training. And their training is rooted in command. So ask yourself right now, where in your life are you trying too hard to control? Who are you trying to change that doesn't want to change? What situations are draining you because you refuse to accept reality? Now flip it. What can you command right now? Your body, your focus, your tone, your effort. That's your power. That's your discipline. Every ounce of your energy wasted on control, reclaim it for command. Let go of outcomes, master input. Detach from control. Focus on command. Because when you stop fighting the uncontrollable, you create peace. When you stop clinging to control, you find confidence. When you focus on command, you discover true calm. Because calm isn't about everything being perfect. It's about knowing you'll be fine when it's not. That's leadership. That's inner authority. You don't need their permission. You don't need their cooperation. You just need your command. So remember this. Control is about fear. Command is about focus. Control wants safety. Command creates strength. Control collapses in chaos. Command stands tall through it. The storm doesn't define you. Your response does. You are the pilot. You are the instrument. You are the command center. The storm is irrelevant when your training is solid. You can't control outcomes, but you can command your effort, your words, your energy. That's your real power. That's your discipline. Detach from control. Focus on command. Because that's how you move from chaos to calm, from fear to focus, from control to command. You've learned how to lead yourself through turbulence. Now let's talk about what gives your actions true weight in the world. Chapter 9. The Currency of Respect.
Chapter 9. The Power of Emotional Minimalism. You are carrying too much, not in your hands, in your head. Not in your house, in your heart. Emotional clutter. The weight of everything and everyone that doesn't deserve a place in your peace. You've been giving your energy away like it's endless. It's not. You've been reacting to everything. You've been overthinking everyone. You've been filling your mental space with noise that doesn't deserve to live there. And it's killing your calm. It's draining your discipline. It's distracting you from what matters. It's time to clean house, emotionally. Emotional minimalism is simple. You stop giving energy to things that don't move you forward. That's the key. Not everything deserves your reaction. Not everyone deserves your access. You have a choice. Every single day, you choose what to keep and what to let go. You can carry chaos, or you can carry clarity. You can collect grudges, or you can collect growth. You can stay cluttered, or you can stay calm. But you can't have both.
Chapter 10. The calm mind wins every war.